Hi, and welcome to my video. I started playing Rollercoaster Tycoon 2 again for the first time in a very long time, and I'm playing it through OpenRCT2, and this is Forest Frontiers. This is my completed Forest Frontiers that took 20 in-game years to make, and I'd just like to show off what I've made and talk about what inspired me to make each certain areas in the park. So I'll just start right here at the entrance. If you've played Rollercoaster Tycoon before, you know, and if you're familiar with Forest Frontiers, you know that there's just a single blue tiled path that leads here from the entrance. So what I did was I changed that a little bit. I made it into a splitting path, so the guests had to choose right or left, and made like this nice entrance area into this kind of roundabout. The merry-go-round used to be here, and it was here for a long time until I moved it over here. So it used to walk into the merry-go-round, now it walks into the Ferris wheel, but there's on each side of these, there's this building with like souvenir shops, and there's like ice cream and information kiosks. Just like your general introduction, things you'd find at the front of a theme park. But splitting a path like this forces the guest to choose to go right or left. So if they go left, over here, it's like I guess you'd call it like the kid area of the park. There's just a small car ride. There's the merry-go-round, they got the Ferris wheel. They do have this roller coaster. A lot of the roller coasters in this park are preloaded designs. I'm not very good at building roller coasters. There are a couple of roller coasters that I built, but this is a preloaded one. So this area is pretty simple. I dug a water feature with vines down it, and I built these, I guess you call them awnings, with I put the vegetation on top. So that's to the left. If they go to the right, there's this area that I call it Italy, because what inspired me to make it was, like, I guess it's called the architecture of Italy. There's a courtyard right here with more shops and things to buy, and a train station right here, and a cathedral right here, and they have all these like buildings right here, but in between them there's streets. So the courtyard, that's inspired by like an Italian courtyard. So you have the like your restaurants and shops right here, and you have a cathedral in the middle. And then all these narrow streets back here that the guests go through, that's inspired by, you know, just the narrow streets in Italy. And then this train station right here that the train's pulling out of, it's inspired by like just this train station architecture where you have like different shops inside, and you have the protruding portion of the train station and the, you know, parapets on top. Yeah, but I didn't build any shops inside, so there's just a queue line. And all of this was built just using default game scenery. I did use the cheats to bring over some scenery that's not in this scenario particularly, but all this scenery is in the default game. I didn't use Tile Inspector or anything. I don't know how to use Tile Inspector. So this is just, let's just call it vanilla game features. And this roller coaster that's in here, this is a default roller coaster that's in the game. It originally was facing 90 degrees, facing towards this when the park was first built, but I had to rotate it to fit in all these buildings. There's a slide back here, hit a restroom back here, the train stations, there's space rings right here. If you can tell, the names are, I translated them to Italian. I just wanted to keep the theming like that. So Scibola slide, Casali, space, you know. Over here is the go-karts, I just called it Grand Prix. And then that's really the Italy section. Now here in the middle, I dug out a lake, and this is the pirate section. So it's theming as, you know, pirates. There's a pirate ship, the rowboats, log flume. The reason I dug out the lake here in the middle and didn't do it over here is because I wanted, because this was one of the first areas I started building into, and I wanted to, I think the pirate ships work really well on water. I've been to theme parks where they put the swinging pirate ship on the water and it looks really good. And then I extended the lake over here when I built this small log flume. Usually in theme parks, or at least in my experience, you see underneath a log flume, it's just like a pond or a creek or something for when the boats come down the hill and they splash, that water has to go somewhere. So it's usually just, it's for a, I guess like a ride runoff. And same with this. This is another default, a preloaded design. Again, this is another water theme ride. But again, these rides can splash water out too, which is why there's the lake was extended underneath that. And over here, I called this thing USA. It's kind of just inspired by the USA, like big skyscrapers, old factories. So something like this, you know, with the smokestacks and the metal. This is a custom design. So it's a looping roller coaster. I like how it comes out of the building at certain sections. It'd be, if it was in a real theme park, this would be like that ride that goes in the dark. It launches on. The stats aren't that impressive, but it is what it is. I just called it Foundry. I'm not very good at naming the rides. This is another custom design, but I copied this design from somewhere on the internet. It's just so I could cram this spinning wild mouse ride in here. And I built another courtyard. And another thing, I try to keep the food in each area consistent with the area it's in. So like in the USA area, there's burgers, soft drinks. In the Italian one, I think there was pizza. And then the pirate one, I know there's squid legs. Yeah, I built another courtyard here. Try to keep the rides similar to which area. So like USA has cinema and bumper cars. And this is another train station. But I was able to manage to fit a shop into this train station. This is more of a modern design, just made like bricks and glass. Now back behind the pirate area from USA that wraps around it, this was just kind of what was, didn't really have a theme, it's just kind of what it was left over. This is a custom built wooden roller coaster. I just called it Fireball. Again, not good at naming things. You can tell from the design, it's not that great. It's pretty decent, but again, not great at making rides. But it's something I could cram in here. I think every park should have somewhat of a wooden steel hybrid roller coaster. And then there's an observation tower over here. That's another great thing every park should have. Put a maze in here. And then I have this haunted house up on the hill. Haunted hill's a good place for a haunted house like this, I think. I think it adds to the scenery. This is the only hill in the park, which is why I went right here. And over here, this was the last area, themed area. I finished. It's inspired by Asian theming, and I know every country in Asia has very distinct culture, and I've kind of just mixed it all together just because there's not very distinct options here in the default game. But the guest walking under all these shops with all these signs, these are supposed to represent like neon lights, so something like you'd see in Shibuya, Tokyo. So, you know, people are walking, there's all these shops advertising what they have, but this is more in the spirit of something like Kowloon in Hong Kong. You can't really do neon signs here. This is the closest thing you get. You can do these signs, but if you do that, it breaks the building. It just replaces the wall. And if you put these signs hanging out, it looks real ugly because of how bold it is. There is no single block still signs, so that's why they're colorful. They're supposed to represent neon signs and signs hanging off. And these are all the apartments and the crammed apartments. Over here is more like a rural Japan inspired thing. The only thing that's over here is a train station, some food stalls, and like pathway. So it's not like a nice modern. It'd be like an old train station. You know, there's wood and it serves its purpose, but it's nothing fancy. So that's what this is. And this is the roller coaster for the area. It's a suspended swinging. This is a already preloaded design. I'm not very good at making these, but it's over the lake. And there's like a pagoda and a bunch of cherry trees, so it's real nice. Over here is the like a imperial courtyard or walled city type thing. So you have your court right here, and then you have the wall. And it's raised and elevated. You have the garden, and then you have the interior. So oops. All that's in here is just a twist. But this is inspired for something like Tiananmen Square, where it's walled in. They have an interior, and they have the building beyond that. I mean, that's why this is called Tiananmen Twist. So something like that, and it's a walled courtyard. And then they just have some more food stalls over here, statues. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, this is all default scenery. I did use cheats to bring some scenery and shops in, like the ATM stand and some food stands in that aren't loaded in this specific scenario, but they are in the default game. I didn't use Tile Inspector to build anything. I'm not 100% sure how to do that. My park rating, as you can see, it's been consistently at the max. Sometimes it dips because the guests will litter somewhere and start vandalizing real bad, but I tried to organize my handyman to keep that real good. Again, I'm constantly making money. I'm over $600,000 in the bank. Yeah, all the rides are free. In this default scenario, each ride costs, and the park entrance is free, but I changed that to be more realistic to where you pay for the park, but all the rides are free. Yeah, these are all the rides. So it's not very many, but this isn't a very big scenario. Again, that's why all the paths are mostly singled, because there's not a lot of room here to do double paths. Each distinct area has its own balloon stall, hat stall, t-shirt stall. So that's why you see a bunch of different colored balloons and hats. From what I'm seeing, most guests have bought a t-shirt or hat or balloon. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know if you want to see me do another scenario. This one I've been playing on and off for a few weeks. I'm in year 21. So that's how long it took to make this, 21 in-game years. But I've been playing on and off for a few weeks as I'm just now getting back into it. So let me know if you want to see another scenario or if you have any tips. Alright, thank you.